trying to structure a story based on a desired character arc is much easier than trying to hit random plot points when you might not even know how your characters are going to get from point A to point Z. So my advice is to let your characters inform the structure. So if you have a character that is struggling with substance abuse, the line or the journey to getting sober is often not linear. So look at Rue from Euphoria. We go on the wildest journey with her. So we see her trying to navigate life while on drugs, and we see all the little tricks that she has to try to hide the fact that she's on drugs. And then because of that, we see that she's always struggled with mental health issues, which then opens up her family backstory. And then you see that as a little kid, that's when she first tried drugs. And then that opens up her family dynamic, which opens up her friendship dynamics and her romantic relationships. We see her go through bouts of sobriety and then relapsing and then refusing to get help and then going through all these crazy, dangerous scenarios to try and get drugs again. That's not linear, but you can build a compelling story on top of those really interesting events. All right, now let's do our own little structuring together. I did not make this chart. I Googled perfectionism and then I pressed images. So say that you have an overachieving type A perfectionist character. Isn't there a bunch of ways to show them going above and beyond when they literally don't have to? They're always doing the most. Isn't there a bunch of ways to show that people now expect perfection out of them, and that has only racketed up the anxiety that they have to constantly perform and be that perfect image that everyone is expecting out of them? Isn't there a bunch of ways to show them overthinking and having this all or nothing mindset where, like, if they're not good at everything the first time around, then they'd rather not do it at all, and that probably holds them back, and then you see them getting even more and more frustrated with themselves? Where does this need to prove themselves come from? Why do they need this outside validation so much? Isn't there a bunch of ways that you can show this need playing out for them? Why don't they trust other people to do things properly? How have they been let down before? Isn't there a bunch of ways to show that? And because of that, they probably take on way more than they can chew. And then what happens to someone who does a high level of work constantly with no room for error? They burn out. And then they beat themselves up for it. And they probably try to deny it. But you get the point with this whole thing. So it's all about structuring it around a character. And if you hate everything that I just said, then look up the Save the Cat method and look up the 8 sequence method. But if you love everything that I said, I have writing videos, specifically outlining videos that go step by step, so you can go and check those out. But for you specifically, I would recommend my YouTube video on flat versus negative character arcs. And of course, I go into positive character arcs, but what I mean by negative is like the devolution of a character and charting that. So go check that out, and I hope that this was helpful. Let me know if you guys have any other suggestions for videos like this. See you soon.